All right, we are Monday, the 31st of October. This is day one in week number two, and I've established a ninth trade on the USD Yen. And the reason behind it is that over here, I see that there's a bed of resistance in this zone. So what I think is going to happen here is that there's going to be a little spike, and then it's going to reverse. But since I might not be in front of a computer when this happens, and it might just crack down from here on the downside, and I'll miss the move. So I'm not really worried about a couple of pips over here. So I think my first place where I would look for to exit my position would be in this bed of support. That's quite clear. And then if it goes through that, perhaps on this trend line over here, a bit lower would be interesting. But I'm going to play this by ear. I'm going to pyramid into this position and kind of manage the position. So I'll keep you updated. Quick update. This is week number two. We are Tuesday, November 1st, and I wanted to show you what's going on with the account. So we're at 271 equity. Today I made $27 so far just with the movement of the market, but nothing has been closed as far as the positions. So I've got two lots in the Euro Australian, two mini lots, and I'm 120 pips in the first position, 188 in the second one, or vice versa. And for the yen, I took a chance on this one. I usually don't cost average a loss, but because of the fact that this is it uses a lot less margin than the Euro Australian, like less than a half, I figured this would be about equivalent as far as in the price movement as the Euro Australian in the volatility side. So if I was to close something to liberate some room in the margin to take another opportunity, it would probably be in the Euro Australian that I would take a profit and just reallocate the capital. But this being said, I'll show you what I saw on the chart. So let's go look at US yen. So this is the weekly. This is the, let's talk about the setup first. I've talked about this in the last week's episode, but basically this is a blow off top, in my opinion. It might continue, but this is very exponential. And since it's been going off of the resistance over here, I think it will move back in. And if it does, the regression line over here is going to be a likely candidate for a target. So because of that, I went on to look at which currency was the most appealing, and the USD Yen succeeded in taking first place because of this really aggressive move to the upside. So I moved on to a shorter time frame. And I shorted because I didn't want to miss it, so I shorted kind of early. I think it was in that zone or something like that. I was afraid it would break these lows and I would not get a good chance to trigger a short, but I was impatient on that trade, but so I'm still negative. So what happened here is I shorted over there, right here. So I'm going to show you the trade so you know I'm not doing any shady business. So profile, leave, and USD Yen. There you go. It shows in red because the day isn't finished, but this is my entry. It was right at the top. So that's kind of the play that I'm doing right now for the yen. The other play, oh, by the way, I'm pretty happy I didn't keep this pound yen trade. There are two things that happened. First of all, the pound yen really retraced hard as the USD yen is tanking. And the other thing is that the New Zealand Canadian, which I exited, if we look here on the daily, I exited because of these two rejection candles. but it ended up doing a bullish engulfing, and now it broke these highs. So I was right in the first idea I had, but anyways, better safe than sorry. It turned out pretty good anyways. But I don't have a position in there. The other position I have is in the Euro Australian, and this trade is based on this, just zoom in, on this resistance. So what happened here is that I saw this resistance, and what I do is I go on the monthly and I look at the wicks, and then I connect the bodies to give me an idea of where the noise is, basically. So this way it gives me a zone. I've made a video about this. If you go in the Forex trading for beginners series, you're gonna see this pattern, not this pattern, but this habit that I have. So right now we're in the overbought zone. So I went on a smaller time frame, and I saw my FX Brawler's reversal pattern, which is basically this. Just trace it real quick. So it's a megaphone with a penetration of the megaphone to the upside in the case of the distribution pattern. And it tests this high over here, and then it gets rejected and gets back inside of the megaphone. And this is I took multiple trades on this. I think 4 or 5 trades short. Now I still have these 2 shorts. So my entry, one is at 59.92, the other one at 55.25. Yeah, 55.92. $55.92, so it's pretty high. Oh yeah, it's this one here. So that was a really good entry. And then 55.25. The other one was here on the retracement. So these are my current positions, more or less. What I'm seeing here is that I think, let me just trace some lines here real quick. Let's go on the 4-hour. So the obvious support is this line here. So in a pattern like this, in my experience, what happens with this reversal pattern is that it goes down very erratically. It's very choppy and hard to trade along the regression, which would be something along this. Let me just trace my lines. I can't talk and do 2 things at the same time. I'm a simple man. So in my experience, a pattern like this, what occurs is that as it's trading along the regression, it goes up and down very randomly and chaotically. But eventually what occurs is that it reaches the support, a point of support, and once it breaks that, all hell breaks loose. If it fails, it's going to come back up. It's probably going to bounce and come back up from here, and at which point I'm going to have to exit. So I don't want to take a loss on this. So what's mostly going to happen here, if we don't do anything, I'm going to protect my entries and try to let it ride. But I'll probably take some profits as we bounce off of this support, because the bounce might be aggressive before it goes back down, and I might have a chance to re-short again. But I'll still hold one position short even if I exit one of them, because I don't want to lose the opportunity. And sometimes once it goes, it really goes aggressively, and it's difficult to take a position again without taking too much risk because of the volatility and the bad timing. So right now my timing is impeccable. So I think the best thing to do right now is just to wait. And same for the yen. If we analyze the supports and resistances, I'm gonna trace my lines. Like so. The other one here. And then we have our horizontal supports that we can trace. It's a pretty big bed of support right here, this zone here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when it reaches that level. So this is day number 2 of week number 2 on Tuesday, and I'll keep you updated with the rest. But right now, I have nothing to do. I just sit on my hands and I wait for price to go down. I mean, I shorted here, I shorted there, and I shorted here, so I'm still negative $6.57 on this trade, and I'm positive $10 on the other one. So I'm still, my average is good. Now all I need to do is wait for price to break this low over here, and then all hell's gonna break loose if things go according to plan. So I'll keep you updated. All right, this is day 2 of week 2. On Tuesday, I made my 10th trade. This is on the New Zealand yen, and the reason behind it is that I saw my distribution pattern that I call the FX Brawler distribution pattern. So my hope is that this is going to revert to the mean over here. And if I'm wrong, then the stop is not that far, so it's going to be a small loss. So yeah, that's the 10th trade, so we'll see what happens. All right, this is day 3 of week 2. I woke up not long ago. Last night I closed some positions, the Euro Australian namely, and I wanted to show why exactly. Basically, I've been wondering if price would not go higher to test this this resistance over there, because it's not going down as fast as I would have liked it to. Usually when I see this pattern, it breaks down quite fast, but now it seems to be kind of ranging. So I decided to watch it instead of keeping my short, because I'm afraid it's going to do one last jerk up before doing anything else. I could be wrong, but that's the feeling I had last night. I exited at a bad price though compared to what I could have gotten this morning, but I saw this big white candle after a pennant, and I was like, okay, so if it goes all the way back up, like, why hold it? Because my short was, one of them was here and the other one was there. So I figured I'll just cut it off and focus on the US yen for the time being. If it breaks this, I'll reconsider, but right now I'm feeling a bit spooked about this trade, so I exited. Yeah, to me it feels it's going too much sideways. Usually I have this and then phew, it breaks right away. So now I feel like there's too much upwards pressure. So we'll see. Next, I added to my yen position. When I saw accumulation near the low over here, I shorted there. So right now it just broke down, so that's good. So I have a short here, and I have a short, I forget where, but somewhere around here. So basically I have two, no, it was closer, it was lower than that, I think in this area. So I have 3 shorts on this pair. I'm kind of building a small pyramid here. The goal is to hold that until around here, I would say. This bed of support, I think, is going to be tested if everything goes to plan. So I'll liquidate most likely one of my positions there and then reassess. All right, this is a recap of week 2. I'm now Tuesday of week 3, so I'm kind of late on that stuff. But basically what I wanted to share with you is what happened in last week. So first, let's talk about New Zealand yen. I had shorted in this zone here, and I got spooked when I saw this bullish engulfing pattern for some reason. I just exited almost flat. I think I lost like $1. I lost exactly $1.45 on that trade. So it went to the to this line over here, which would have acted as a resistance if price was in here. But since price was over there, I saw a bullish engulfing outside of the channel. So I was like, maybe I jumped the gun over here. But the more I see this pattern over here, like I would short this in a heartbeat, but we'll see what I do later. So that's one of the trades that I took. I took 2 trades on Euro Australian. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, so Euro Australian, I made $8.44 on one trade and $4.09. So I was just basically playing this this range, this pattern here. Let me just trace my lines real quick. So going long, short on this pattern here. Eventually it did go down, but I remember getting out around here, and then it went down, went back up, and I think I reshorted in that area. But yeah, but eventually I decided that this was not going down aggressively enough for me, so I kind of quit the idea of that trade. But since week 1, I think I've made maybe 4 or 5 trades successfully on that pair alone. But right now it's kind of fizzling out, and what I think is going to happen here, or that has a high probability of happening, is I think it is likely that we will go to this resistance over here. I wouldn't be surprised if price came here before bouncing off aggressively. And for that reason, I'm kind of spooked on that pattern, even though if we look on the monthly, we are in the rejection zone, and I saw my pattern in there, but it looks like it wants to go to the other one, which is fine because I made plenty of money on that pattern in the past couple of weeks. So that's I'm gonna keep an eye on this one for sure, but for now I'm not willing to short it anymore. But we'll see what happens with that. The other trade that I took was on the US Canadian, and it was a tiny scalp basically. I shorted here and I got out there. I made $3.81, so it was very quick and painless. And where I really got hurt was on the USD Yen, because I had a bunch of position, like I was explaining, and it eventually went my way, but I kind of got spooked when I saw this big spike and then making higher highs and higher lows. And I exited 2 lots exactly at that point, and then it reversed in my face. So on one of the trades, I lost $10.18, which is the highest one I had, and I lost $4.86. So week 2 results are as follows: $5.86 net, basically, and I had a couple losses here that could have been avoided. Like all these trades were supposed to be positive, but it was user error basically. So that stuff is gonna happen in any person's trading. So my net P&L is $3 over there. So that's my gross $5.86, and my net is $3. So a little bit over 1% for the whole week. So it's not nothing to write home about, but I think if I had avoided these mistakes here on the yen and I stuck to my gun. But right now what I'm trying to do is to uh, show how you can be very, very defensive and cut your losses whenever you have a chance and the market turns against you, and still build the account slowly but surely. So that's my goal with this series. So we'll see if I'm able to demonstrate it with such a small account, but I'm trading like I would trade normally, you know, and when you look at things with hindsight, it's always easy to say, oh yeah, I would have held that trade. But what happened last week with the USD Yen was there was a rate hike, and so it was very possible that the market could have taken off against me for several days, and then I would have had a much bigger loss than what I did. So I played it safe. It eventually reversed against me, but I'm gonna, in the next video for week 3, I'll explain what my plan is for next week and the next following weeks.